Good morning, folks. Kent Hovind here with a guest, Michel. We'll introduce him in a minute from Missouri, chiropractor. I get a lot of, by the way, today's date is February 4th, 2017. I get a lot of comments on my YouTube. I mentioned chiropractic several times in the last week on YouTube, and some people said, oh, they're all quacks. Well, I taught biology and anatomy. I'm sure no world's expert on this topic, but I am convinced there's a basic philosophical problem here. Michael, welcome to our program. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Michel. I'm a chiropractor in Missouri, and I've been a chiropractor for about 18 years, and I found out that for the majority of the people that they need care. There's only a couple reasons why people need chiropractic care. One of them is if they've been born, and the other one is if they've had stress. And when I say that, I always get a few chuckles, but the reality of it is that if we think about the birth process itself, that during the normal standard birth process in the country today, the average American neck has had, 40 to 80 pounds of pressure put on their neck during a normal vaginal delivery. And a lot of that research comes from the Topin Research Project. And so anyway, during that type of thing, if the bones in the top neck of the spine are out of alignment for a child, and it's even worse if they've been C-section or a C-section delivery or forceps or suction cup, that's even more pressure to put to the neck. But during that, that gets those top bones out of place on the child's neck. Now you think about it, most children weigh about, 5 to 8 pounds or so.
Yeah.
And if
we talk about the top 7 bones, the top cervical
Sure.
bones, the pressure of birth, or especially the doctor grabs them and twists them out of there.
40 to 80 pounds of pressure.
Yeah, and you got these little. Well, I'll back up a little bit. Give a bigger picture here. Those who believe God designed the human body have a different philosophy than those who believe we just evolved from a rock over billions of years. And so most of our modern medicine is based on the evolution philosophy that man is just a collection of chemicals that formed by chance over billions of years.
Well, we can't go along with that because
Right.
we have to look at that. I always tell my patients, I said, there's only one time in all of creation that we can take 1 plus 1 and get 1, and that is conception. During conception, you have 1 sperm, 1 egg equals 1 cell. Now, if we stop for just 1 second and we don't allow that cell to multiply or divide, and we just look at that, we couldn't even see that 1 cell in the palm of our hand. But that cell has all the information we need to grow from that 1 teeny tiny cell to a baby 9 months later at 9 trillion cells.
9 trillion when they're born, and about 100 trillion when you're an adult.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
well, what I am concerned, though, that the Bible talks about the whole body being fitly joined together. I overdid it a few days ago, picked up something too heavy, and damaged the lower disc between the sacrum and L5, right?
You've pulled something out of alignment. Without an MRI, we wouldn't be able to tell for sure exactly what it is, but it is definitely in the lumbar spine, and it's definitely causing you an issue.
Okay, and so you came in last night about 8 o'clock and stayed in my house up there. You were at the chiropractic meeting in Atlanta. My wife is there for one more day. And I knew that something was hurting, obviously my lower back. And you could tell by the length of my legs, especially when you bend them up, put them down, and you had me do different motions, and you could check the leg length changes, which is intuitive. If your sacrum is twisted out of place, then the length of your leg will change at different positions. So it's kind of mathematics.
It is.
Right. And so then you adjusted me last night and then again this morning, and I am 80% better.
Fantastic.
Already, just with a chiropractic adjustment. Your practice is in Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Correct.
So people live within X number of miles or driving distance of Poplar Bluff. You can treat people and help. What all problems can a chiropractor help, do you think? What have you seen help from?
Sure. Well,
and then tell them how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Well, let me just, it's kind of hard to explain all that, but let me just say it like this. We have over 100 trillion cells in our body. They're replaced at 180 billion cells per day. And so if your spine is not in proper alignment, you're not getting the full message from the brain to the rest of your body.
Well, let me explain that for some of the folks that may not get it. In between each one of these bones of your backbone, there's nerve endings coming out, symbolized here by the little rubber thing. If these bones are off just a little bit and putting a tweak or a pinch on it, it'd be like having a bundle of wires going to your computer and you set the chair on top of it. You're pinching it somehow.
Exactly.
You are probably going to affect how the message can get through that nerve.
Correct.
So you may have a problem in your hand that's really caused from your back or neck,
Correct.
depending where this nerve goes. So in my case, I've had several car accidents, broke these 3 bones in my neck and broke T6 in my back. And plus I slide on my back a lot, backsliding. Backwards do that regularly. But let's see, this one goes in and this one goes out, the lumbar. But if these are slightly off and stuck out of position for a long time, the muscles get used to holding it in the wrong spot.
We're creatures of habit.
Sure. So the chiropractor simply twists or does whatever he has to do, thumps them, gets them back in place, relieves the pressure on the nerve, and like, oh, wow, this is great. And then the muscles that are used to holding it wrong now are going to pull it out again.
Right. So it's time and repetition.
So you have to put it back 3, 4, 5, 10 times, whatever, and then pretty soon it learns, oh, that's where I'm supposed to be, and it stays there. So, yes, those think I'm a quack and chiropractors are quacks. I'm sorry you feel that way. You're wrong. Okay. It just simply works. And I think it's a scriptural principle of give the body what it needs in the form of nutrition, clean air, clean water, etc., good food, and adjust it, and the nerve, it'll heal itself. So you gave a couple testimonies last night, or examples of people that you were able to really help with relatively serious problems. Give a couple of those and then tell them how to get a hold of you.
Sure. So, we think of chiropractic a lot as being headaches, neck aches, and back pain. And so I've had a patient been coming in for a while, and she's had low back problems, but after a few adjustments, she's doing a lot better, and every day she continues to improve. But like I was saying before, we replace about 180 billion cells a day, and so if we've been growing our body wrong for a long time, then it's going to take a while to get our body growing itself right again. So it takes time and repetition. With like in Doc's case here, he had abused and neglected his body, not out of his knowing, but it just happened. And so it's the chiropractor's job to get things working again. My oldest patient's 102. My youngest patient right now is about 2 months old. When my youngest patient was born 2 months ago, she was born via C-section, and the C-section deliveries are by far the hardest on the child.
Why?
Well, it's because you think about it, all the muscles, everything's pushing the baby out of a certain area, and you're pulling the baby back against it. In this particular child's case, she was born feet first. Her feet had gotten wrapped around the cord. We do a technique in our office called Webster's technique, and it helps to turn babies whenever they're breech. And so we knew she was breech. We tried to turn her, but she just wouldn't turn. And so it's all working with the muscles, make sure everything's in balance. And I felt her try to turn, but she couldn't. Anyway, so they ended up having to have a C-section. They pulled her out by her feet, and when they went to pull her out by her feet, the spot got wrapped around her neck, and they just pulled her right out.
Oh, no. Okay.
So by the time I was able to meet up with the parents a couple hours after she was born, the mom says she'll nurse one side, but she won't nurse the other. And so I checked her neck, and sure enough, her neck was out of alignment. And after the first adjustment, she could nurse but on the other side, but she was a little fussy. And by about 5 days later, she could do everything she needed to do and was perfectly healthy. And so
when a little baby's, cervical spine, you just simply push it with your fingers, right? You don't.
Well, interesting enough, with babies, we actually hang them upside down because you think about it, the womb was such a small area, and we've got to get them unwound. And so we hang them upside down, and the gravity just unwinds them. And then we just, like you said, just push with our fingers and gently put the bone back in the proper alignment.
Well, I have been adjusted many thousands of times. I'm going to guess 5,000 times, okay, in my life.
Good.
I have no long-term bad effects from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply like cracking your knuckles. If you're getting the right nutrients in your system, it's like oiling. How many times can the pistons move in your car before they wear out? Well, if you change oil regularly, you can get
quite a bit out.
Quite a bit. I got 270,000 miles on my old van up there.
Oh, good.
Keep changing oil. And so your body, I look at it that way. You just keep giving it the right nutrients and keep things lined up where it's supposed to be. Like you get a front end alignment on your car once in a while. And
sure. Most people take better care of their cars than they do their own body.
Right.
The car has replaceable parts, The
Right.
good thing is we can actually regrow our parts. Many times we can grow them where they're healthier. They may not be like they were when you were 22, but they're healthier.
You gave an illustration when I said, thank you so much. I have a little massage table at my house. And you worked on my back, and I said, oh, I feel so much better. And you said, well, I'm just a wrench. I thought that's a classic example. A good wrench is a Craftsman wrench. I like Craftsman wrench. What is that, a 3/7/8? Here's a Husky wrench, metric. And then there are the cheap Taiwan, made in Taiwan drop forged, okay?
Sure.
I have done auto mechanic work all my life, and when you really put pressure on a cheap wrench, it will bend or spread, or a good wrench is good to have. And so I think that's a good analogy, that a good chiropractor, he's just a tool to put things back in place, and then God does the healing, or the body designed it to heal itself. And so I've asked you a couple times, forgot to give you time to do it. Tell us, how do people get a hold of you?
Sure, sure. Well, there's many ways. My phone number is 573-776-1111.
Okay, repeat that louder, because the mic's picking it up.
573-776-1111 is the phone number for our office. Also, you can look at us on the internet at Michel, Michel, Chiropractic. That's a 12-letter word, big one. Center.com. So it's all one word, MichelChiropracticCenter.com. And it's a great website, gives a lot of good information, because doctor actually means to be a great teacher, and that's what I want to do with my patients, is teach them about how the body works, how it gets sick, how it gets healthy, so they can understand how chiropractic is working for them.
And you are in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, which is down in the boot heel of Missouri, southeast corner.
Right, close to the boot heel, yes.
And your office, Poplar Bluff's what, 6, 8, 10,000 people?
17, 20,000.
Oh, 20, okay. And so you're right on the main drag, or?
Yes, right on. It used to be, it's Business 67 or North Westwood, and we're just a little jaunt off of it. You can't miss our office. It's got a big black sign that says Michel Chiropractic Center, black and white, not just
and
black.
Give the history real quickly of that name, Michel, your last name, Michel.
Sure. My grandfather, my dad, and uncle and aunt immigrated to this country in 1950. And when they got here, they said, pronounce your last name for us. And my grandfather said, Michel. And he said, well, we don't talk like that in the United States. So we either have people pronouncing it Michel or Michael. What would you like? And my grandfather said, let's go with the French pronunciation and call it Michel. So my last name is Michel.
Michael Michel. Okay.
Yes.
Well, good. There you have it, folks. If you have questions about chiropractic, call him and see if you have any. Do you take calls and give advice over the phone? And
You bet.
all right. If you can't get through, Poplar Bluff, Missouri. So I will have to tell you from personal experience, brother, you have worked on me twice, and I am better. I'm ready for one more time before you drive off to Missouri today.
Fantastic.
We'll give you a tour of Dinosaur Adventureland. If you've not had the tour of Dinosaur Adventureland, we're not open yet, but come on down. We'll give you the tour. I'm going to give my brother here one right now. Thanks for joining us, folks. If you're not a Christian, that's much more important. If your body is perfectly healthy and you don't feel any pain, and everything's wonderful, and you work 20 hours a day and feel great and make $1 billion and die and go to hell, you're a fool, absolute fool. Having a perfectly healthy body is wonderful, and not having any pain is great, but getting spiritually right with God is much more important. So if you're not a Christian, give your heart to the Lord and get saved. If you are one, find something to do for the kingdom of God. Everybody ought to have a job in the family. Ask your dad what he wants you to do. Thanks. Talk to you later. We have our Bible study church service actually tomorrow night. So no YouTube Bible study tonight. Thanks, brother, for joining us.
Thank you.